Hi, I'm Jody Frost here at Next in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm joined by this year's 19th Maley Lecturer, Dr. Andrea Behrman. Andrea, you lectured on our evolved understanding of spinal cord injury, noting we've evolved from a glass half empty view to one of a glass half full. Why the increased optimism? How does it change the way physical therapists treat individuals with spinal cord injury?
We're looking at a paradigm shift. Before, our approach to rehabilitation for children and adults with spinal cord injury was what is the level of sparing below the lesion? So what was the voluntary movement available to us? And that's how we predicted outcomes. If there was paralysis, we have no way to resolve paralysis, and our primary method of treatment is compensation, wheelchairs, braces, etc. Today, what we've learned from basic scientists is that the spinal cord is in fact smart, and that it is available to us, but we have to provide specific sensory input to activate that spinal circuitry, which turns out, surprisingly, activates the neuromuscular system below the level of the lesion. Once we do that, we can take advantage of it. And so recovery or development in very young children is possible.
Well, I was there and it was amazing. You mentioned sometimes children have an advantage over adults in gaining function after spinal cord injury. Why is that?
Well, I think there's several aspects of that. First is there's likely greater plasticity in a developing neuromuscular system. Second is children are not biased by their concept of what injury means. They're not trying to resolve it with any cognitive effort, which typically adults do. They are just meant there to play, and that's their primary focus, to play. We take advantage, I think, and it may be a biological advantage, that they are engaged in very real activities. They're trying to shoot a ball in therapy. They're trying to hit a tennis racket and hit a ball. They're trying to run even. And that turns on your whole nervous system. And I think we're taking advantage of that biological advantage. And they have imagination. Imagination for children is real. For adults, not so much.
Your lecture was about individuals with spinal cords specifically, but thematically it was also about the risk of being constrained by our old ways of thinking and not taking on new paradigms and challenging the status quo. How can we as physical therapists and healthcare professionals value and weigh our evidence and prevent ourselves from setting the bar too low for our patients?
Well, I think the evidence that we presented today is new. This happens throughout our profession, time and time again. I met a gentleman yesterday and he said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "A paradigm shift." And he said, "Oh, we're having a paradigm shift in treating chronic back pain." So this is not new to physical therapy. This happens time and time again. When we have this new evidence, we have to reset our clinical expectations, our decision-making process. All of those elements reflect the paradigm shift. And I think the bar has been set too low only because that's the lens with which we perceive outcomes following spinal cord injury. And paralysis could not be resolved. We have a new lens. Paralysis can be resolved. And through that one, we're going to start to raise the bar.
Andrea, thank you so much for sharing your insights in the lecture and for giving hope to all spinal cord patients and children alike that the future is brighter. The Maley Lecture is just one of the signature events at the Next conference. For more updates from Charlotte like this one, please go to the Next website. Thank you.